in, everyone. Come on in because we are here to talk about Ready to Love, season 11. And y'all, we were on episode 3, and this episode was so funny to me, y'all. This episode was so funny, but I gotta say, Detroit, 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 you are not only bringing the looks, LOOKS, y'all are bringing the looks. LEWKS. Is that how they spell it out in the streets? Because let me tell you, last week I was talking about Dominique's fashion and I wasn't quite a fan of it. But this week, Dominique, I'm going to tell you, I loved it all. I loved all the looks that Dominique served up this episode. I was even talking about Cardi and I was like, he was giving me werewolf vibes. But check it out. Check it out. I got inspired by Cardi. I had to go put some blonde streaks up in my hair. And I said, werewolf who? Let's do it, Cardi. Let's do it. And this week, he showed us a whole lot of looks. He gave us the curly look. He gave us the straight flat ironed, silky smooth look. He gave us the braids. He gave us everything. Cardi says, do you like this? Do you like that? Do you like this? We even got Mufasa, the Lion King. What's his name? His name ain't Bolo, not Bolo. It's the Demarcus, Demarius. What is this man's name? Darius. Darius was bringing the Lion King, Mufasa, to our screen, and I am mad at you. Let me tell you, Detroit, this is why West Coast people, California people can't hang in the Midwest, because y'all gonna outdress us. Y'all gonna outdress us and you gonna talk about us. But you know what? I love seeing it. I love seeing it all. And we even got another appearance with Emily and her breastesses. But Emily and her breastesses went home. They sent her home as they should. At this point in time, I was like, Emily's breasts are taking on a whole new life. They're not just breasts. I mean, they almost look like conjoined twins, Siamese twins. Is saying Siamese twins, is that politically incorrect? I think it's called conjoined twins. That's what they look like. And in fact, I even think they had their own personality. I think they had their own opinions. I think they had everything. I know in the end, they told her she had RBF, resting B face. If Emily had RBF, I'm going to say that her breastises were rude AF. Because both. She had the RBF and them breasts were rude AF, and she went home as she should be. We're going to talk about that too. But when the show first opened up, y'all, we was at the skating rink, and we know that Detroit is known for roller skating. I'm not a good roller skater myself. We had a few roller rinks out here in LA. Used to call it, where are my LA people at? What was that roller rink over there on Pico and La Brea? I forget what it was. It used to be good back in the day, but then it started to get a little little ghetto as time went on. But y'all know what I'm talking about, Pico and La Brea over there in the shopping center. Where are my LA people at? But anyway, they was bringing the skates. Shannon, who's 33, she says, I got my own skates. When people show up with their own skates, you know they about their business. And, she was out there doing her thing. At first, when the show first came on, I was like, oh, I don't like the editing of this show. It was feeling like a lot of, like the new wave. You know how you new people, you guys don't really connect. Y'all don't really have conversations. Y'all talk in text, Instagram reels, short little trailers, 30 seconds. That's what I was feeling at first in the editing of this show. I was like, can we get a conversation? Can we watch a conversation between someone? Why are we getting all these snippets and we can't really have no real conversation? And at first I wasn't liking the editing, but later on, as time went on, we did start to get some more real conversation. But Bolo let us know that he was really feeling him some Dominique and Emily, and he was afraid that they got sent home because they was on the bottom. But Bolo too. Bolo is bringing the looks too as well. He's coming suited and booted. And we know that Dominique loves a man in a suit. But as time went on, I was like, Dominique, y'all are missing it on a lot of points. I know you might like this man's suit game, But y'all ain't aligning on a lot of other stuff, Dominique, on babies, on religion, nothing. Don't let the suit fool you, Dominique. But one thing I'm gonna say about Dominique is she is a grown ass woman, and Dominique knows how to flirt. I could tell she's used to being around celebrities because Dominique knows how to flirt with a man and make him feel like he's the best thing since sliced bread, even though I don't think that she's really that into him. Because later on, remember last week, Dominique was laying it on thick with Devon. I don't even know what his name is. She was laying it on thick with him because he came back in a suit. And, he even leaned in for a kiss last week. Remember that, y'all? And she was like, not yet. You got to at least take me out on a proper date. See, that's what happens when Dominique was laying it on so thick with Devon. He thought, oh, she must be really feeling me. But I think really what it is, Dominique's just so good at flirting. She can make men think one thing and it may not really be true. Because what we see later on, which is what I said, it says, who's the real Devon? Is the real Devon the nerd that showed up on the first date? Or is the real Devon this swaggerlicious guy that showed up on the second date when he was trying to impress Dominique, the stylist, around celebrities? And I said, I think it's the first guy. I think he's really a nerd. And sure enough, y'all, we saw Devon on a date with, who was that? Shannon. And both of their inner nerds came out and they was loving it. So like I said, I sure hope Devon does not get distracted from Dominique, because long term, I don't think they're a couple. And I hope what Devon doesn't do is he doesn't go after the shiny penny of Dominique because, I really never had the cool girl like me because I'm a nerd. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot my shot at the cool girl and I'm going to overlook the nerd girl who is the Shannon. Devon, don't pick wrong. Like I told Dominique, don't be fooled by the shiny suit. Devon, don't be fooled by the Poochie. Y'all corrected me. You said the designer's name is Poochie, and I was calling it Coochie. Thank you for correcting me. But Devon, don't get fooled by the Poochie. Don't get fooled by the Poochie. But Bolo was happy that Dominique and Emily were back. Nicole said she was hoping that Devon would come back as well. And Dominique said she needs some help. She ready to find her husband, her next husband. And she said she need help from baby Jesus, carpenter Jesus, and big grown people Jesus. I liked her skating outfit though. I did like her skating outfit. Shannon, when she first came on the screen, she was having a little conversation with Chris. And Shannon was like, I'm glad you like me, Chris, because most people find me pretentious and think I act as if I'm better than them. Well, Shannon, girl, if people think that of you and you don't want to be known for that person, why you bringing it up? That's like, let's say people think you overweight and some guy comes over to you and says, hey girl, you look really nice. I really like your figure and everything. Well, I'm glad you like it, because most people said I'm overweight and fat. Why you say that, Shannon? I don't know. But before Emily got eliminated, they did give her some opportunities. Bolo went out on a date with her and told her, hey, I want to be with a woman that's not going to get distracted from other people. And I want to say this to Bolo. Okay, first of all, Emily ain't one person. There's Emily, and then it's her conjoined twins. So even though her resting B face is distracted, looking somewhere else, those Siamese twins, conjoined twins, they not looking nowhere else. They still looking just at you. They still looking directly at you because, like I said, they got their own personality. They do their own damn thing. Even though Emily be trying to stuff them down in them shirts, those conjoined twins say, no, Emily, I'm coming out. I'm doing the hell what I want to do. Those conjoined twins, let me tell you, they rude AF. They are rude AF. And then we had Nicole and Vince showing like they were having a good time. Nicole is up here skating between the legs of Vince. Nicole is willing to do anything, I believe, to get a man to like her. And good thing, you know what? I don't know if that was her real hair. I don't know if it was a wig. I don't know what it was, a weave or what. But she better be happy that when she went between the legs events, that thing didn't come off. She better be happy that wig was on tight, that weave was sewn up tight, whatever, crochet. I don't know what it is. Even if it's her hair or own hair, I don't know. She better be glad it stayed on tight, because that could have been a disaster for TV that she could have never lived down. Never, ever, ever lived down. And then we got to see Donna. Girl, Donna. It's my STEM major, Donna. Y'all know when I'm engineering. Donna's over here doing math calculations and then giving people the answers. First of all, Donna, come on over here and sit down, girl. We need to have a talk, STEM major to STEM major. Donna tells this man, Darius, that you not authentic. You acting like you not authentic. And what she's thinking about him ain't a good thing. And I think you try to downplay the bad parts about yourself, and you try to upplay this other persona about yourself. And yeah, I'm going to judge you because everybody else judges you. Girl, keep your math answers to yourself. See, here's the problem with STEM majors. Because, you know, I had to learn this too. I did have to learn it. Sometimes we can do calculations pretty fast in our head. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes people who are very analytical, we can do calculations in our heads very fast. But what you got to learn, Donna, is just because you got the answer or can calculate the answer or you think you know the answer, it really doesn't mean that you got to say the answer. You know, let people discover the answer on themselves, or let people come to their own conclusions. You ain't got to imprint your solutions, your answers on other people. I know you can't stop that brain, Donna, because, hey, I got the same problem. I can't always turn off the brain, but you know what I can turn off? My mouth, right? I don't always have to let my opinions come out. Now, here on this YouTube channel, I let them rip. That's why I came on here, because I let them rip. And some of y'all like it and some of y'all don't like it. But in my real life, I got to have control. I got to temper my words. I can't always let out my mouth what I think. And Donna hasn't learned this. She hasn't learned, because Donna, what it does come out is, you know what? Sometimes you get it wrong. You do. We get it wrong, Donna. We're not always right. And sometimes it ain't worth saying what you think, because what for, girl? Girl, Donna, what was the purpose of you reading Darius up and down like this? And then when the man told you that's not who I really am, you judging me, then Donna came back and said, yes, you are, because other people got the same answer I did. Donna over here talking about we grading on a curve. And even though you want to say my answer is wrong, when I went around the room, everybody got the same answer I did. But yet, guess what, Donna? Everybody else didn't say it. Everybody didn't blurt out the answer. Donna, were you the girl in school when the teacher asked a question, you was the first one raising your hand and always raising your hand? Put your hand down, Donna. Let other people answer. Let other people have thoughts and opinions, even if they aren't your own thoughts and opinion. But all that shenanigans she did with Darius got her put on the bonnet. Her ass was almost gone. So Donna, you better go back and recalibrate. Now here's the math problem for you, Donna. What is the sum of rudeness, prejudging people? What does that add up to? You know what that adds up to, Donna? No man. No man. You might have got the math problem right, but you ain't got a man, and you here looking for a man, Donna. The two don't always add up. You better do the right math. You can do the math to get the answer right, or you can do the math to get a man if that's what you're here for. Get a man, get a baby daddy. I don't know what you're here for. But whatever you here for, Donna, the math you doing ain't mathing. It ain't mathing. It ain't producing the results that you want. You understand what I'm saying? So, girl, you need to switch it up. And then we didn't really see that much of Christina. All we heard from Christina was talking about how she was sheltered and she didn't have no boyfriend till she was 18 years old. And then at the very end, we see Christina over there selling her coochie, talking about If you want to be with me, you got to pay some bills. You know what? You know what, Christina? Those previews for next week were giving me. It was not giving me a woman who says, I know my worth, right? A lot of people want to say, well, I want a man to put his money where his mouth is. That's great. That's great. That's more like, okay, I know my worth and I don't want a man to believe that he can sit up here, over here and live up all me, blah, blah, blah. But what Christina was giving me was not, I know my worth. What she was giving me was broke. Christina was giving me, I'm a broke songwriter, songstress, something. I don't have enough money, but I got looks. And if my music don't sell, I'm going to sell my coochie. That's Christina. I'm going to just tell you what you giving me, girl. So I don't know. We ain't seen the episode. We're going to have to see it when it comes back. But Darius was loving him some Ashley. Darius said he already got 4 kings. But Darius, the Lion King, Mufasa, said, 4 kids, so what? I'm a lion and I can have a pride of cubs and lions and I can suck toes. Because Ashley said she want 3 to 4 kids, her doggone self. And Darius said, let's do it because I got the money. I'm the king of the jungle. I'm Mufasa. And Ashley says she is fertile. And Darius says, so am I. So am I. So let's do this doggone thing. And then finally we started getting to some of the dates. We saw a date with Chris and Vince and Emily and Vince. And Vince already said that he didn't like Emily. Emily said she didn't like Chris. Emily said, what she said? She said, Vince ought to be careful because I might curse him out. Who, Emily? Who gonna curse him out? You, the RBF one's gonna curse him out, or them conjoined twins gonna be the one to cuss Vince out? Later on, we see it was both of them. They tag team his ass. Emily and them conjoined breasts tag teamed at the end. She sure did. And Chris said he thought that Nicole was classy. And when they said, what kind of drink would you make, Nicole? He said something classy, passion fruit, mimosa. And he was sharing his sort of garden tattoos. I never heard of no tattoo like that. I guess it was kind of unique. He's a chef. He said, I'm going to have the whole garden on my body. All righty now. Don't make it no rotten fruit. Don't have no rotten fruit on your body. But, Emily, she's still walking around, like I said, talking about she's a school teacher. She's a graphic designer. Vince was trying to have some conversation with her. She called him Maury Povich. You probably do need Maury Povich to diagnose all this dysfunction between you and your breast. Because let me tell you, there's some dysfunction going on, Emily. So I'm glad you are watching Maury Povich because that would be the TV show for y'all. But all y'all, that would be the TV show for you. And Vince put it nicely. He says she's aloof. But later on, they were like, oh, it's more than aloof. It is more than aloof. And Chris talked about he was married twice. One was to his childhood sweetheart. And he said, I made the mistake of getting married while I was mourning. And I kind of married a person who was there for me during my mourning phase. But after I was done mourning the death of, I think it was his mom, he was like, we didn't have nothing in common. Nothing in common. And Nicole said, ooh, me too. Me too. That's what my therapist told me as well. So at least Nicole says she's been to therapy. That's good. I wonder if the therapist can tell her that that Ed fella ain't even interested in her. Remember last week, Ed said that she was the homie. We're going to talk about Ed because Ed said that he really ain't interested in Nicole because Nicole was the homie in college and she's conservative. But then later on, when Ed goes out on the date with Donna, the main thing he don't like about Donna is she don't have no Christian roots and she not going to be willing to go to church. We found out that Ed is a cute dog. Ed is a cute dog. So I guess back in the day, you up on the campus, HBCU, you got the cute dog in Ed, Ruff Ruff, and you got the sweet, who was it? Nicole. She was an AKA, and the AKA was loving her some cute dog. Ed was wild. He was wild because Nicole was too conservative. And now in his 40s, Ed is saying, I need a spiritual woman that goes to church. that goes to church. But later on, when they're talking about who's going to get eliminated, who did Ed say he wanted to get to know? I forget what it was. He said he wanted to get to know her in a more non-sexual way. Who was it? I forget who it was. Ed, I don't know. Ed, have you really given up your cute dog ways? Have you given them up, them dirty dog ways? Ed, something is telling me the answer is no. I ain't gonna lie. Something is telling me that Ed wants a lady in the streets and a freak in the sheets. And I don't know, he might want a freak in the streets too, be honest with you. He's giving me all kind of contradictions, y'all. All kind of them. But when Ed was talking to Donna said, she want her PhD in 5 years. She want family and kids. And Ed said he was all nervous talking to Donna because he ain't never been around such a beautiful person. Nicole, girl, did you hear that? Did you hear that, Nicole? Ed just told Donna he ain't never been around no beautiful person. And here you were secretly in love with him for 25 years. Girl, Nicole, replay this for Nicole so she can hear it, so she can shimmy on down the road or whatever she needs to do. But when Donna was having the conversation with Ed, he wasn't feeling it. He was like, no, I know you want to be practice your own spirituality and you don't believe in Christianity. And as long as people are good people, she said that should be good enough. And Ed said, that ain't good enough for me. Maybe Donna needs to talk to Bolo, right? Because, Bolo and Dominique, although they were doing all this flirting, the truth of the matter is, Bolo said he needs a son for his Muslim faith. And Dominique told us that she's already had a couple of miscarriages. She don't want to go through that again. Plus, she said she don't want to mess up her body. Oh, she didn't say that, but that's what I'm thinking too. And she said, would you be open to surrogacy? Hell no, he ain't open to that, Dominique. I don't care what Bolo says. Part of me is starting to believe that Bolo is trying to use Dominique for her celebrity stylist. Something tells me Bolo is trying to get some celebrity clients. Ain't he an entrepreneur? Don't he do something? Something's telling me Bolo wants to be in Dominique's world, and he's just cozying up to her to get into her world, and so he can get some new clients because their lives don't really align at all. I would say Bolo should get with Donna, but then Donna dress too much motherly, matronly, and Bolo ain't gonna like that. He wants someone like Dominique, how she dresses, fashionable. But when she came in, when Donna was at the Elimination dinner and she came in and Steven saw her, she was serving her looks then. She had her little flamingo, feathers on and everything. She said, I'm going to try to step it up. Even though I don't go to church, I'm going to stop dressing like I'm going to church. Donna be dressing like she going to church even though she don't even go. Girl, I ain't never heard of that. I ain't never heard of a woman dressing like she going to church, but then don't even want to go there at all. That's a new one, Donna. That is a whole new one. But what else went on? We also had Cardi went out on a date. Cardi was there with Shannon and Ashley and Ashanti, Xavier, and Devon. And like I said, Cardi was showing all his different hairstyles. This time he came with the sleek look, the flat iron look. It was good. It was good. Everybody feeling Cardi. They feeling his conversation. They say it's elevated. They say that he teaches these women something. People are feeling him. We got to see Shannon, like I said, have a good conversation with Devon. And they geeky side start coming out. And Devon was like, he loved the quirkiness of Shannon. And it's almost like they found their tribe. They found their tribe. And I was really, really, really loving to see it. And I really hope they explore it. Something tells me that Devon and Shannon can be a whole vibe. Really, I was really seeing it. Ashley was saying, she's trying to let her hair down. She trying to have a good time. She gonna get inspired by Cardi B. Don't be surprised if next week we see Ashley with some gold streaks like mine. Cause shoot, Cardi out here influencing us all. Is his name Cardi or Cardi B? What's your real? And you Cardi B? Let me see. But they start talking about their love languages. She was words of affirmation. He says, I like some physical touch. He was like, run your fingers through my hair. I heard that, Cardi. But in the end, people were liking Dominique. They were liking Shannon. They were liking Nicole. And Steven said he was liking Lauren because she looked like she would be a fun mom and a fun wife. And Bella was saying Dominique got a high emotional IQ, but the no's, Xavier was a no to Emily, no to her face, and no to her breasts. This is Bella said she was she had hypersexuality. Vince said she leaves with all that makeup, and they didn't like Donna either. And when they finally got up there and had to put the two of them at the elimination date, Donna couldn't stop. She still kept talking about how she felt the ick with Darius. Girl, learn how to keep it to yourself, Donna. I know why Donna ain't got no damn man. Girl, you need to go recalibrate, redo that math problem, because right now, like I said, your math ain't mathing, Donna. Your math to come up with a solution to get yourself a man is not the right answer. That's an F, Donna. I know you probably didn't get a lot of Fs on your papers, but right now I am giving you an F. I really, really am. And what else went on? And then at the end, when Emily was getting eliminated, she couldn't stop. She couldn't stop. Chris told her, you got RBF. And then Emily started gaslighting everybody and started saying that the reason why she was nasty on the dates, the reason why her and her breasts were nasty on the date is because a lot of these men talk too much and they don't know how to shut up. Emily said, it's three of us here, right? And it's only one of you. It's three of us and one of you. It's my face and it's my conjoined twins. And then it's one of you. And really all of us not able to get a word in because these men are talking too much and they need to shut up. But earlier when the man with Vince was trying to ask her questions, she was mad because she was like, what are you, Maury Povich? I tell you, Emily got three different personalities. And, they had their little date at a coffee shop. And even Emily came in and said, ooh, these men know I'm a teacher and they know I love me some coffee and tea. What? How are people supposed to know that you love coffee and tea just because you're a teacher? I'm telling you, who's talking right now, Emily? Is it you or is it them conjoined twins? I'm telling you, something wrong with Emily. Something is wrong with Emily. And when Chris tried to tell her, you lead with too much sexuality. And he says, we think your sexuality is actually a cover-up for your insecurity. And Emily said, well, some people can handle all of us, all three of us, and some men can't. And she said, I might lead with my sexuality, but all you men lead with your lameness. Woo! Where is Movi Povich? Movi Povich needs to come in here and say, you are not the father. You are not the father of these conjoined twins. You are not the daddy. Emily, go get some help, girl. All three of you. Get a group plan, get a group discount, whatever the hell you need to do, but go get some help. That's what I'm saying. All righty. I'll see y'all in the next episode. Bye.